Hi, it's Joan-Marie Domino here from Decoupage Rocket Girls, and this is my second video in a little mini-series I'm doing on decoupaging on seashells. So in my first video, I took one of my shells and I painted it blue, and I took a napkin, I deckled the edge, and I decoupaged it onto the shell, so it has this nice rough edge on it. And I have a white shell, and I just wanted to show you the difference it would be if I had put it on a white shell instead of a blue shell. So it's always fun to play with all different kinds of colors. The other thing I did is I took one shell, I painted it pink, and then I took pieces of a napkin instead of one big piece and put them on individually. So now in this video, I'm going to start out by wrapping the shell. So in other words, I'm going to do the whole outside with one piece. All right, so this is the napkin I chose. It's very pretty blue. I'm going to take off the back layers. We don't need those. And we're going to put glue, but this time I'm going to put glue directly onto the shell instead of onto the napkin. I'm still going to be using saran wrap, but so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover the whole shell with the glue, including like all these little nooks that these shells have. And shells, especially these kind, they have like a lot of grooves, so you definitely want to make sure you're getting enough decoupage glue on them. And this napkin I'm using, I actually had another one picked out, but I went shopping today and I came across this one and I decided, well, I'm going to use this one. This one is really, really pretty. All right, I'm going to put this shell down. All right, so I'm going to take the napkin and I rough cut it out, you can see. And I know it's more than I need, but that's okay. Now I'm just going to smooth it with my fingers. I am going to get saran wrap now. I'm going to put it on top. And now I'm going to start to press down like this. Now what I'm doing is, because of that front part of the shell, this little nook area here, I definitely want to make sure that my fingers are going underneath the shell there too, so that the napkin is definitely going to stick. Okay. So let's see, I'm also concerned about that edge too. And these shells, because I pick them up off the beach, they're not super smooth on the edge, so I always have to be concerned about the napkin ripping. All right, so let's take it off. There you go. See? Okay, it's very pretty. Now I'm going to leave this on here. I'm just checking now to make sure that the edges are all adhered, and they are. But I'm not going to take this off yet. I want to wait for it to dry, because sometimes when I go to remove the extra, it's going to rip into the shell, and I don't want that to happen. So I'm just going to let that dry. And once it's dry, this is one I already made. All that part that's hanging off is very easy to get rid of. All you have to do is take a file. This is just a regular emery board, and you just do this. And when you're done, you'll have a nice smooth edge. Doesn't really take a lot of effort, but it really makes the shell have a nice finish to it. There you go. Look how pretty that is. Okay, here's another one I did the same way. Absolutely beautiful. And this shell will definitely look good with added glitter. It will really be a nice shell when it's done. Okay, so now this, of course, is what I would call our display side of the shell. This is the part of the shell that's going to either be sitting on a desk or it's going to be inside of a cabinet. So then it's like, well, do you need to do anything with the inside then, if this is the part that you're going to see? Well, for me, I have to do the inside. I have to do that little extra finishing touch, just kind of how I am. So what I did is I took some of them and I just painted the inside, just kind of finished it off. With this one, I actually did a little lettering, thank you. With this one, I did a little hello on the inside. Same with this. And actually I even decoupaged a little flower in there. And on this one, I went super bold and I did the whole inside in like a nice deep cherry color to match the flower. Okay, so that's just some ways that you can add a finishing touch when you're doing the outside of the shell. So now we're going to start working on the inside of the shell. All right. So the inside of shells can be very tricky. It has these deep little grooves here, and sometimes it's even, this one is actually pretty good, but sometimes they're even worse than this. And it's really hard to get that whole napkin to get in there and not to have a bunch of wrinkles and that kind of stuff. And you can do it and you have to play with it, but it's possible. But I thought you know, I think it should be easier when it starts. I don't want you to get frustrated. I know I don't like getting frustrated, so I want to do something easy. You can get started right away and you like it. And one of the easiest things to do is to take and start with a small shell. It's kind of like what I did here. And all you need to do is take a little bit of your glue, your decoupage glue, and put it on there. Okay. And then just place the flower like that. Ooh, I'm touching it with my finger. I knew I had a piece of saran wrap here. There you go. I'm just going to smooth it out a little bit like that. That was pretty easy. That's pretty, right? And then we can move into something that's a little bit bigger. So I took a napkin, and kind of like what I did here is I just cut out a piece that I like and I deckled the edge, and we're going to go ahead and put this one on as well. Okay. So now I'm going to put the glue directly onto the shell. It's really hard to put the piece of napkin down on top of the saran wrap like I do and try to squeeze it into the shell. Even with little pieces, it really just doesn't work. It's, you know, you just have to kind of play around with it a little bit more. So, all right, I'm just going to press it down with my fingers. Yes, I know, and all the things I tell you not to do, all of a sudden I'm doing them. All right, then I'm just going to take some plastic wrap, and I'm just going to smooth it down like that. There you go. And we don't have to worry about this piece hanging off because we know that we can sand that off when we're done. There you go. That's nice. Okay, it's pretty. Okay, now if you want to do a bigger shell, as you can see I'm working up into a bigger size. Here's another napkin. I did the same thing as I cut it into pieces like that, and now I have room for this one other piece. It's going to go here, so let's put that one on. And again, I'm going to put the glue right onto the rock. Oop, a little heavy-handed there. Okay. All right, and I'm going to just line that up there. And just lightly tap it with my finger. Okay, then I'm going to come back and use this saran wrap. I'm just going to press it down like that. That looks pretty good. That's nice, right? And it looks like it was one whole piece of napkin, even though it was in a couple of different pieces, but that's how it looks. This one over here, believe it or not, also, this is one of the first ones I ever did, also looks like it was one piece, but this was all little individual pieces I cut out, and it was a lot of work, but I was really glad I did it because it really didn't look like I used one whole piece of napkin. And here's another one I did, and this is the napkin I used, and I just wanted to show you, I'm not finished, there's a little bit more I want to do, you know, with this napkin, but I used a natural shell here, so you can really see the difference, just experimenting with different colors instead of just painting everything to see how things look just on the natural shells. Shells are, you know, beautiful on their own. Okay, and here's one more I'm going to show you, and this is a very popular piece of tissue. Everybody is using this right now, and again, it's just the little pieces that I cut out, and I glued them down. And I'm still filling out the entire inside of the shell, but again, I'm not getting frustrated with the one piece, and that's why I want you to try it like this way first. And actually, try it with white. Try starting with a lighter paint color first, and then moving into a little bit deeper color. So I want you to be happy with what you do. Okay, so that's going to be it for this video. I'm going to have a couple more videos coming up on my mini-series on decoupaging with on seashells. So you have to then subscribe to my channel, Joan-Marie Domino, on YouTube, so you don't want to miss any of those or the ones I had. And don't forget to sign up at our Decoupage Rocket Girls group page. We have more tutorials and we have lots of good discussions. So you want to become a member of Decoupage Rocket Girls. You want to go out and get yourself a bunch of shells. And thank you for watching my video.